Rawteur. Think about it. You ever read a review or watch one on YouTube and think, are we even talking about the same movie? Because a lot of the reviews we see now are just as manipulated as the numbers. Traditional critics, the newspaper, magazines, and trade outlet crowd used to carry real weight. Most of us remember when Siskel and Ebert, and later Ebert and Roper, were basically household names. Back when a single line in the New York Times could make or break a movie's opening weekend. But now, a lot of them are just playing defense. Studios control the access. You give them a bad review, and suddenly you're off the list for the next premiere. No advanced screening invites or interviews. No press kit. You're out of the loop. And in this space, being out of the loop is death. So instead, the reviews get softer, more polite, carefully worded. You'll see a lot of phrases like ambitious misfire or visually impressive if emotionally uneven, which is critic speak for, this was garbage, but please don't blacklist me. And the review aggregators, Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, people still treat them like truth meters, but look closer. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't even tell you how good something is. It just tells you what percentage of critics gave it a positive review. What's more accurate, I would say, would be the popcorn score, which is the audience score. But I digress, because what the critic reviews actually means is that a movie with mostly meh, middle of the road, can still come out looking like a masterpiece. A film with 100 reviews all saying it's fine, I guess, will still show up as 100% fresh. And don't even get me started on the early reviews, the ones that hit before the movie comes out. Most of those are from carefully selected outlets, the ones who play nice, who post embargo-safe praise, who won't rock the boat. It's marketing in disguise. Front-loaded positivity meant to flood the feed before any real backlash can build. Then come the influencers. And look, not all influencers are dishonest, but let's be real. A lot of people on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter are chasing that early access pipeline. They want to be first. They want the screeners. They want the invite to that Disney Plus junket in LA with the free hotel, free merch, and the photo ops with the cast, the yada, 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 right? You think they're going to roast the movie after all that? Some will, most won't, because the moment they go negative, the invites stop coming. And it's not just about perks, it's about momentum. See, you build a channel off of Marvel content, and then you suddenly say, yeah, this one was mid. You just alienated your entire audience. So you soften the take, you hedge. You say things like, it wasn't my favorite, but I totally get why some people love it. That way, you don't lose your access or your fan base. Even among indie YouTubers, you'll see the same pattern. Fear of backlash, fear of comment wars, fear of stepping on the wrong franchise. So people stick to the safe opinions or just don't cover the stuff they didn't like at all. Or in some cases, they only cover the things that they don't like and build a community around hate. I mean, it's exhausting. See, we used to think that the audience had all the power, that social media made things more honest, that now anyone could speak the truth and be heard. But over time, the incentives changed. Now, honesty gets punished, bland positivity gets rewarded, and the people who call it like they see it, they get buried by the algorithm, flooded with hate, or quietly cut off from the press list. So what does that leave us with? Don't forget to clap the like button. View counts we can't verify, reviewers we can't trust, critics who can't speak freely, influencers who don't want to rock the boat, which means the hype, all of it is coming from inside the house. So when a movie drops and everyone's saying it's amazing, that might be true, or it might just be the only opinion that's allowed to exist. When you see a movie trending online, it's easy to think the buzz is organic, but most of the time, that hype was manufactured weeks ago by design. Because these days, buzz isn't something that happens naturally. It's planned, scripted, and launched in phases. Studios don't just hope something goes viral, they design it to. It starts before the movie's even out. You'll see some carefully timed leaks. There will be leaked set photos, rumors about certain cameos, a cryptic tweet from a cast member, all of it designed to kickstart speculation because speculation means free publicity. Then the fan accounts kick in, the ones with usernames like Film News Daily or MCU Updates. Now you have to think to yourself, are these fans? Maybe, but a lot of them are just marketing arms in disguise. Posting teaser clips, hyping casting announcements, driving the entire narrative before the studio even releases a trailer. And when the trailer finally does drop, that's when the reaction economy takes over. Suddenly, your feed is flooded with trailer reaction videos of people screaming at their screens and losing their minds at half a second of a reveal. And look, some of that is real, but some of it, let's just say, there's a real reason why a lot of reaction thumbnails all start to look the same. It's not about how you felt watching it. It's about how excited you looked while watching it. And then come the early screenings, the ones packed with hand-picked superfans, influencers, and reviewers who've already been groomed to love the product. These screenings are loud, there's applause, gasps, all of which are recorded, of course. And then the studio turns that into another trailer, one of those audience reaction cuts where you don't see the movie, just the faces of people in night vision having the time of their lives. You're not watching them watch the movie, you're watching a mood board. And it works. You see people crying in the theater or terrified, and suddenly you're like, wait, am I missing out? Is this the next big thing? You haven't seen the movie yet, but you've already been told how to feel about it. Even when a film underperforms, there's a playbook. Suddenly, the headline shifts to, despite low box office, it's a massive hit on streaming, or divisive at first, but gaining a cult following. The goal is never to admit failure. The goal is to keep the conversation alive long enough for the narrative to flip. And sometimes they don't even wait for a flip. They force it. Have you ever seen a movie go viral for one very specific moment? A dance scene, a fight, a memeable line, an accident, a blooper. Studios push those. They pre-clip them, give them to influencers, and quietly seed them through TikTok and Twitter. Then the algorithm takes over. People see the same clip 5 times in a day and assume it's everywhere. That's not virality, that's choreography. It's controlled chaos, but just enough noise to make it feel spontaneous, but never enough to risk the wrong kind of attention. And while all this is happening, the stuff that actually flops quietly exits stage left. Maybe you catch it in the recently added tab, maybe not. The system doesn't leave room for honest failure. It's all either record-breaking success or radio silence, which puts us, the audience, in a weird spot. We don't just have to decide what we like, we have to figure out what's real, what's earned, and what's hype, what's planted, what's legit buzz, and what's a distraction wrapped in a TikTok trend. Because right now, perception is being micromanaged from every angle. The data, the reviews, the reactions, even the vibes. It's a carefully staged illusion of popularity, and unless you're paying attention, it's easy to get swept up in it. But not everything is a lie. There are still ways to get closer to the truth. You just have to know where to look. With all the fake ratings, sketchy reviews, and made-up milestones, what are you supposed to trust? If you've ever asked that question, there's one old-school system that might still be worth paying attention to. And no, it's not Rotten Tomatoes. And as much as I want to say YouTubers, even that gets complicated depending on who's talking and why. But there's one source, just one, that still carries some weight. It's not flashy, it doesn't go viral, I don't even think it has a top 10 chart. It's called Cinema Scores. And here's why it matters. Cinema Scores started back in 1979, and its system is refreshingly simple. They ask real audiences what they thought right after seeing a movie on opening night. That's it. The key is that they're not polling critics, not polling influencers, and it's not algorithm farm tweets. It's just normal people who bought a ticket and sat through the whole thing. They hand out physical ballots at the theater. People grade the movie A through F, and the results are tallied from there. There's no PR fluff, just a straight up gut check from the audience that actually showed up, paid for a ticket, and watched the thing all the way through. The thing is, though, audiences are usually generous. They want to like what they just watched. So when a movie gets an A, it usually means they enjoyed it. When it gets an A+, that's rare. That's a big deal. But when you see a movie get a B- or a C, that's rough. Because in cinema score terms, a C isn't meh. It's bad. It means people walked out confused, disappointed, or straight up mad. So while critics might call something divisive or bold, if a cinema score audience gives it a D, the story changes. That score's not coming from corporate spin. It's not the result of social media pressure. It's the purest kind of feedback. The sound of a paying audience saying, nah, that wasn't it. And studios pay attention to it. Quietly, but seriously, because cinema score affects word of mouth. And in the long run, that's still the most powerful force in entertainment. Word of mouth doesn't trend on Twitter. It doesn't show up in the Netflix top 10, but it decides which movies survive and which ones vanish. That's the thing we've forgotten. Success used to spread person to person, friend to friend. Somebody saw a movie, told 5 people, those people told 5 more. It was slower, but it was honest. Now, the machine tries to beat you to that conversation. It floods your feed before you've even had a chance to form an opinion. It tells you what's great, what's important, whether it is or not. And the longer you're in it, the harder it is to tell the difference between real praise and manufactured enthusiasm. But don't fret, because the truth still finds a way to break through. In the conversations you have after the hype dies down. It's in the stuff that holds up after the dust settles. It's in the reactions that aren't choreographed. That's why things like cinema score matter. That's why small reviewers, the unfiltered opinions, and yes, even that one brutally honest YouTuber with 10K subs or, 1,700. How many do I have now? Yes. 1,700 like myself. That's why we matter. Because at some point, the marketing fades, the campaigns end, and the top 10 resets. And what's left? The work. The actual movie, the show, the art, whatever's underneath all that hype. That's the part that either connects or it doesn't. Everything else is just noise. So yeah, maybe we don't have a perfect scoreboard anymore, but if we pay attention, if we stop outsourcing our opinions to charts, algorithms, and tomato emojis, we might still find the stuff that's actually worth watching. You just have to be willing to see through the illusion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and for more videos like this one, check out this video right here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and for more videos like this one, check out this video right here.